Hi, and welcome back, guys. Uh, this video is a follow-up video from about the video that I made about my grandfather from last month, and I'm astonished at how successful that video of my grandfather was, which garnered 94,000 views. Thank you so much. And it's now my second most watched video on my channel. So everyone who watched it, thank you so much, especially to everyone else who gave a thumbs up, who liked the video, and of course, who subscribed to my channel because of it. I really appreciate your support. I'm making this video because a lot of you guys have been asking me about more information on my grandfather, and with the help of Dr. Catherine Bishop, I was able to get my hands on my grandfather's autobiography that he personally wrote. And I think he wrote it when he was 17 years old. Mind you, he was 17 when he wrote this autobiography. And thank you so much, Dr. Catherine Bishop. If you'd like to know more about Dr. Catherine Bishop, I will link her website down below. And also, I'll include a link where you can download my grandfather's autobiography if you'd like to read it by yourself. I'll be reading my grandfather's autobiography. Just a warning, a lot of the words that he used in his autobiography, I had no idea what they meant and how to correctly pronounce them. So I apologize if I make any pronunciation errors. And also, I'll be doing my best to read it as best as I can. Herald Tribune Forum, Mr. Johnny B. Antillon, 162 Dimasalang, Sampaloc, Manila, Autobiography. I am what you might term a human hybrid. At least half my genes were first bred on Portuguese sardines, and the rest were nurtured on Bulacan bangus. But I count it as no disgrace to have foreign blood. My love for this land abates not because of it. I revel indeed in the knowledge that I combined within myself the essence of two races. My father was a gruffly gentleman. It was his fortune to have a mind that could exchange bon mots with Laurel, and a rapier wit that more than once crossed blades with Recto. Lawyers felt the edge of his satire when he wanted them to, which was often. Yet it was his special pride that his own home never echoed to a stronger word than a mild caramba. My mother, on the other hand, reflects the determination of her rural background and the temper of the Bautistas of Bulacan. Alas, she matched my father's temper all too well. But if their brief union was not very peaceful, it was, to say the least, extremely interesting. My mother's chief virtue is her ability to express the simplest ideas in the most number of words. This ability I've discovered to my chagrin more times than I care to admit. Yet my mother has imparted to me, in modest measure, a loquaciousness augmented by the natural verbosity of her sex. The union of these produced me, although I cannot claim all the traits of both. Still, I have in me a full share of each one's virtues and vices. From my father, I claim a modicum of intelligence, humor, and passion. And from my mother, I claim what I think is eloquence and mulishness. My parents, however, are not the only sources of myself, personality, and skill and all. I have been exposed to the germs of literature, and I must confess that literature is one disease I have no desire to inoculate myself against. My first venture into the literary world was through the Blue Fairy Tale book. I graduated early into Grimes, Anderson, Crusoe, and the Arabian Nights. My delightful excursions into each only whetted my appetite for more. That is why today I feel ill at ease unless I frequently renew my acquaintances with essays, poems, biographies, and a host of other memorabilia, which afforded me a quiet pleasure unmatched by anything else I know. Since I have always been slightly introvert by nature, I have treated the world of books as a pleasant Elysian land where I can find the repose absent from everyday existence. Yet a wise providence has restrained my introspective tendencies just enough to keep me from becoming that learned but unpleasant creature known as a bookworm. I like books and all they represent. Authors from Defoe to Emerson to Ludwig have nurtured my mind with Crusoe, Manners, and Napoleon. To every author I have absorbed, I owe a bit of my soul. Still, in spite of the fact that every one I have met has influenced my character, I still claim credit for the unification of their teachings into my person. I believe that an architect is not less great simply because he used stone which he did not quarry, or wood he did not plant. To gather the good from whatever source, and out of this fashion something better. That is the aim of my life. Speaking of aims, I will be firm to state that I am no lily. I have my faults, and my ambition to become a lawyer was not prompted solely by pure altruism. Two good reasons impel me to take up law. One is monetary and the other hereditary. Monetary because I like comfort, and heredity because, being the only son of my father, I believe that I have a tradition to uphold. Before you think that I am over materialistic, let me add that I am largely guided in my choice of a profession by the good I feel I can do for others. I am deeply religious. I have within me a chord of sensitive to the twang of divinity. At least, I think so. I cannot listen to hymns without feeling the hackles rise on my nape. My religion is not pure dogma. I consider the Catholic Church as the most evolved church in the world, but this belief cannot make me a fanatic in its cause. Although religion is an integral part of me, I resist all attempts to make of it a mere show through the manipulations of modern day Rasputins. There is another side of me which is quite intense. I mean, my political conscience. I have joined every social, civic, and political organization open to me. I am active in bodies like the High Y, YMCA, student councils, school organs, political clubs, and the like. To this varied interests, I ascribe my views about good government and government officials. And the credit for whatever parliamentary knowledge I have, I give to my participation in various deliberative assemblies. From the foregoing, a casual reader may put me down as vain. Nothing is farther from the truth. True, I have a healthy respect for myself, and genuine praise from others boosts my self esteem considerably. And yet, I can say that I have combed my personality so much that I have found faults in myself which, for my peace of mind, were better left unfound. I am squeamish, and my squeamishness is delayed because I feel the revulsion of seeing blood only after an hour has elapsed. I am a born nepotist, and nothing pleases me more than to shower favors on my friends. And yet, my kindness for the individual is balanced by my callousness to the mass. This should not be taken to mean that I dislike the common man. God knows I am one of them. But my aversion stems from my fear that in our search for equality, we are pulling down everyone to the level of the lowest common denominator. This should not be. Let us raise the bottom to the heights, and not the heights lowered to the bottom. Aside from these personal observations, I possess countless more traits that are not worth mentioning to others, but still very dear to myself. For instance, I have never, God knows, been a Samson. But this does not stop me from admiring beauty in both sexes. I like clean men and fresh women. I enjoy relaxed conversation, and nothing bores me more than to meet an occasional misfit who acts as if the fate of the world depended on his sobriety and calm. I like dances, parties, get togethers, hikes, picnics, and other affairs where laughter comes easily and stuffiness is exiled. I like fried rice and crispy toyo, and thick chocolate. And if a personable lady ever learns to cook lumpia like my mother, then she has only to beckon, and I shall come. Perhaps these idiosyncrasies of mine were caused by my upbringing. Who knows? Certainly, my parents never taught me how to pick a pocket, yet I know how to do so. Although I have never used this doubtful skill. If my manners are at least bearable, then my mother can claim credit for that. If I am religious, then the worthy madres of Santa Scholastica, St. Paul's, Santa Isabel, and the Espiritu Santo deserve, again, the credit for it. All in all, I am the product of different environments. I have had probably more ups and downs than most other persons. From my downs, I have gained a measure of fortitude, pluck, and cynicism. And from my ups, I have learned everything else. But most of all, I have learned from defeat great appreciation for success. With all these known and some unknown influences in my life, I am what I am, and I thank God for it. I have attached a sort of statistical summary of my life thus far. I have placed the succeeding data in their separate form because I consider it a crime to burden the reader with dry details. Personal data. Name Johnny Blanco Bautista Antillon. Date of birth January 6, 1936. Parents Attorney Jesus Emilio Blanco, deceased. Vicente Antillon, Deputy Clerk of the Court of First Instance. Magdalena Bautista, housekeeper. Educational background: Santa Scholastica Kindergarten, St. Paul's College, first, second, and third grades, honor students in all three. That's amazing. Santa Isabel, third grade. I had to repeat because the war burned my old records in St. Paul College. Espiritu Santo Parochial School, fourth grade, valedictorian. Villamore College, fifth grade, accelerated to sixth grade soon after, then valedictorian of the intermediate class. First year, full scholar. Second year, full scholar. Third year, full scholar. Fourth year, now still undecided. Activities: participation in YMCA, military training, student councils, school organ, national conferences, etc. Itemization of high school activities. First year, class president, vice president of student council, treasurer of High Y Club, associate direct editor of school organ, and boy mayor of Manila. I think I remember him telling me about that he was boy mayor of Manila when he was a teenager. Second year, class president, secretary of High Y Club, secretary of Interior and Student Government, president of Constitutional Convention, associate editor of School Organ, vice chairman of the National High School Students Conference in Baguio, and YMCA delegate designate to Australia. Lack of school funds forced last-minute cancellation of this trip. Third year, class president, president of High Y Club, managing editor of School Organ, president of Student Council, vice president of Supreme Student Council, gold medal essayist and first prize symposium winner, and 2 contests sponsored by the YMCA, chairman of the National High School Students Conference in Baguio, member of the College Editors Guild 7 of the Philippines, and assistant director and counselor of YMCA International Boys Camp in Baguio last summer. Fourth year, class president, student council president, commandant of PMT Corps, editor-in-chief of School Organ, member of the SCAP and CEG, president of High Y Club, and vice president of Supreme Student Council. Miscellaneous: loves biking. I did not know, or I never knew he could ride a bike. That would have been something amazing to see. Reading, hiking, chess playing. He was actually the one who taught me how to play chess, but I'm not a good player. Parties, dances, and almost all forms of social activity. Yes. Even in his later years, he loved social activities, like when he was with the Rotary Club. Uh, he was one of like the people, like the most noticeable person in the crowd because of his boisterous laugh. He had this like loud laugh, and it just attracted everyone to him. Of course, he loved parties. He was a man who appreciated fine alcohol as well. He loved to drink beer, cognac, and I think from time to time whiskey, because I sometimes see like bottles of Johnny Walker in his closet. But yeah, this is so amazing. I mean, His accomplishments in school is probably longer than my whole resume. I really hope you guys appreciate me giving you more information about my grandfather, especially in his early years. And I hope this inspires you to be something more, to, to never be content with who you are. There's always room for improvement. And what I always tell my students is that there's always room for improvement. Never be satisfied with what you can do. There's more that you can do. This just shows that my grandfather at such an early age was so wise, like so smart, and it's just mind blowing. When I first read this, when I first read this document, my mind was like, it totally blew my mind. It's like, how can a child, how can a 17-year-old write something like, write this? It's like amazing. I could never in a million years write anything like this, not even close. So that just shows how different he was from other people. So to close things off, I really hope you guys appreciated me reading this to you guys, giving you a little bit more information about my grandfather. And I really do hope that he inspires you to do something more, to be something more. If you haven't yet, please do give the video a like and please subscribe. It would really help me out. That's it for today, and I hope you guys enjoyed my short reading of my grandfather's autobiography. So, as always, take care.